Hello, this is Max. Today the story is about two friends who became a couple and the challenges they faced. You can subscribe to the channel after watching. It helps us a lot in realizing the content. The movie opens by introducing Dylan, who is consistently engrossed in his job, leaving him unable to allocate time for his displeased girlfriend. In a turn of events, they plan a movie outing, but Dylan's habitual lateness results in his girlfriend breaking up with him due to his perceived lack of attention. Simultaneously, we are introduced to Jamie, a woman named Jamie facing similar issues of business in her relationship. Unable to emotionally connect with her boyfriend, he decides to end the relationship, citing her perpetual unavailability. Despite her busy schedule, Jamie holds on to the belief that she will eventually find her ideal partner. We discover that Jamie holds a significant position as an executive recruiter in a prominent New York City job agency. This coincides with Dylan's journey, as he receives a job offer in New York while originally hailing from Los Angeles. Upon Dylan's arrival in New York, Jamie greets him at the airport. She enthusiastically emphasizes that this presents a tremendous opportunity for him. However, Dylan doesn't appear overly enthusiastic because his heart is set on Los Angeles, a city he loves. They proceed to the company where Dylan's interview is scheduled. After the interview, Jamie informs him that he's been offered a position at GQ magazine. Initially, Dylan is hesitant to uproot his life in Los Angeles and move to New York. In an attempt to sway his decision, Jamie dedicates the evening to showcasing the city's appeal and the potential the job holds. During their outing, they explore various places, ultimately arriving at a breathtaking rooftop. Jamie confides that this spot is her solace when she's upset due to the mesmerizing view it offers. Dylan appreciates the view, and their conversation shifts towards his father, a once successful writer, a topic Jamie is knowledgeable about. Curious, Jamie inquires about Dylan's father's reaction to his potential move to New York. Dylan assures her that his father is always supportive of his decisions, granting him the peace of mind to consider the relocation. Moving on from the rooftop, Jamie leads him to Times Square, where a crowd dances to a pop tune. Enthralled by the experience, Dylan joins in the dance, culminating in his decision to embrace life in New York. The following day, Jamie presents Dylan with a contract to sign, which would secure her commission for successfully recruiting him. As Dylan commences his work routine, he forms a camaraderie with a coworker named Tommy. During their interactions, Jamie mentions that the contract spans a year, yet Dylan retains the flexibility to leave when he desires, though she subtly advises against it. Curious about spending more time together, Dylan invites Jamie to join him for lunch. However, Jamie misconstrues the invitation as a romantic gesture and expresses concerns about complicating their friendship by dating. Dylan clarifies that he intended the invitation platonically, and they proceed to share a meal at a restaurant. Their candid conversations lead to discussions about their respective past relationships and the remarks their exes used to make about them. Their honesty fosters a strong bond between them. Jamie shares her plans to host a party at her place and encourages Dylan to attend, believing it would offer him an opportunity to make more friends. Dylan agrees and participates in the party, effortlessly connecting with the other attendees and having a great time. As time passes, they continue to meet regularly, relishing each other's company and sharing enjoyable moments. On a particular evening, Dylan visits Jamie's home to watch a movie together. Jamie's penchant for romantic movies leads to a discussion with Dylan about the complexities portrayed in such films. Dylan asserts that relationships shouldn't be so challenging and advocates for a simpler approach to love without unnecessary complications. Jamie concurs, emphasizing that fulfilling physical needs doesn't have to entail emotional turmoil. She likens it to a casual game of tennis, physical without emotional entanglement. Dylan proposes a purely physical arrangement, devoid of emotions or commitment, and surprisingly, Jamie agrees. After assessing their mutual physical attraction through a test, they establish ground rules and embark on a physical relationship while maintaining their friendship. As days pass, their intimacy grows. However, they find themselves experiencing awkwardness, prompting a conversation to address the situation. They decide to end the arrangement to preserve their friendship. However, their physical desires resurface, leading to a passionate encounter. Their secret rendezvous is unexpectedly interrupted by Jimmy's mother, who is supportive and reveals her aversion to commitment as well. Dylan confides in his friend Tommy about the arrangement, but Tommy predicts its downfall due to gender-based differences in perception. Time progresses, and their physical encounters continue. However, Jamie begins to yearn for traditional dating experiences. She discloses her longing for a serious relationship to Dylan, who is willing to end the arrangement if it aligns with her desires. At a garden, they both attempt to connect with potential romantic interests. Dylan approaches a woman who reveals she's married with kids, while Jamie interacts with a doctor she plans to go on a date with, leading to a lighthearted ending. The scene transitions to later that night, where Jamie is on a date with a doctor named Parker. They enjoy each other's company, and Parker suggests going to Jimmy's place since it's nearby. However, Jamie adheres to a rule of not bringing a guy home until the 5th date. She shares her perspective on imagining a hero, a Prince Charming, who would come to rescue her from the world. Jamie and Parker continue to date regularly, and Dylan finds himself struggling in the absence of Jamie's companionship. Despite his attempts at dating other women, he realizes that he deeply misses Jamie's presence. Meanwhile, Jamie and Parker's relationship progresses to their 5th date, during which they're getting closer. The following morning, Jamie leaves to buy donuts, expecting Parker to still be there when she returns. However, she finds Parker leaving her place without explanation. It becomes apparent that he got what he wanted and was ready to leave. Jamie confronts him, realizing his intentions, and he attempts to come up with feeble excuses. Seeing through his behavior, Jamie asks him to leave, recognizing that he's not the Prince Charming she's been seeking. That evening, Jamie meets Dylan and recounts the story to him. Dylan advises her to forget about Parker, considering him to be a manipulative and unreliable person. Later on, Dylan surprises Jaime with a painting she had admired and expressed a desire to buy. To uplift her spirits, Dylan presents her with the painting. Upon returning home, Jaime discovers a note from her mother explaining her absence during the holidays. Feeling disheartened, she confides in Dylan about her mother's absence. Dylan invites her to his place, convinced she'd be bored alone at her own home. They decide to fly to Los Angeles together. In LA, Jaime gets to meet Dylan's family, including his parents and his sister, Annie. Dylan's father is struggling with a mental illness that causes him to forget even basic things and occasionally engage in embarrassing behavior. Dylan prepares Jaime for his father's condition, including moments when he forgets to put on pants. Despite this, Annie and Dylan's father form a positive connection with Jamie. During their stay, Dylan experiences occasional embarrassment due to his father's behavior, while Jaime spends quality time with Annie, cementing their friendship. One night, as Dylan visits Jaime in her room wearing only a robe and seemingly looking for privacy, Jaime encourages him to keep the robe on. Instead of engaging in an intimate encounter, they opt to talk, enjoying a rare opportunity for meaningful conversation. Their conversation shifts to their feelings for each other, and both express the sentiment that the other person holds a special place in their hearts. As they share their emotions, they draw closer and eventually share a passionate moment, marking a change in their relationship. The scene ends with Dylan leaving Jaime's room after their connection. The family goes out for dinner, and once again, Dylan's father's behavior becomes a source of embarrassment and discomfort for Dylan. This continues to strain their family interactions. The next day, Dylan takes Annie around the city, and they end up sitting on the iconic Hollywood sign. Annie encourages Dylan not to be embarrassed about his father's actions, emphasizing that he should view his father with love and understanding. Back at home, Annie talks to Dylan about his relationship with Jaime, noting that she has been observing them closely and believes they're a great match. Dylan, however, dismisses any romantic involvement and even labels Jaime as damaged, unaware that Jaime overhears his conversation. Hurt by his words, Jaime decides to return to New York without confronting Dylan directly. Upon realizing that Jaime is avoiding him, Dylan attempts to reconcile, but she refuses to engage. Dylan faces a dilemma as he contemplates leaving his job at GQ for another position, which would impact Jaime's commission. An argument ensues when Jaime confronts him about his potential departure. Both Jamie and Dylan go through introspection, attempting to come to terms with their feelings and the state of their relationship. Jaime spends time with her mother, while Dylan discusses his situation with his sister. Later, Dylan's father, who is in the early stages of Alzheimer's disease, arrives in New York. Dylan picks him up from the airport, and during a moment of confusion, his father reminisces about a woman he once loved deeply but let go. This revelation sparks a series of events that lead Dylan to surprise Jaime at Grand Central Station with a flash mob performance and a heartfelt confession of his feelings. As they share a passionate kiss, Dylan proposes they go on their first official date. They head to a nearby cafe where their chemistry is palpable. If you are interested in such films, please proceed to the next video on the screen and also share your thoughts about this film in the comments. Give us a like and subscribe. Goodbye.